Anyway, that's all. Probably see the cops or some sort of response vehicle here at this intersection, I predict. They came on 2 consecutive days at that other intersection up there after I posted a tweet that they didn't like, obviously. Or it could have been that thing I posted about Maxime Bernier. I don't know. Could have been that, or probably it was the tweet though. Who cares? You're not gonna intimidate me out of speaking up about these things. Oh, dude, what the heck? He passes right by me, literally. I'm standing right at the stop. What is wrong with that guy? You gotta be kidding me, man. When's the next one? It's like 8:30 or something? That was intentional, obviously. I came out to the stop right as he was coming up. He didn't even stop. Stand over here, man. Creepy. Let's see where the guy's positioned there. He comes up behind me. The other one moves to the right. Look at this right now. Right here. See what the car numbers are. Excuse me? Can you roll down the window so I can talk to you? Good morning, how are you? Can I get your badge number, please? The reason I ask is because I'm in the process of collecting evidence to file a lawsuit against the Ottawapolice and the City of Ottawa for criminal stalking. Could I please get your badge number or your name? One of the two, or both? 1291, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good one. So you can see that where that was positioned right as I passed too. He's a supervisor as well, that guy. He's going to just pull over there and linger, you'll see. So he did comply, that guy. Recently I have filed a number of different complaints against him for not providing the badge number, so you could see he was positioned there right literally as I'm up here at the intersection waiting for the bus. This is 3 out of the last 5 days they're showing up right as I'm coming home in places that are otherwise quiet and there's no one else around. So you can see he's kind of just idling there now, beside. License plate number CWPS 391, and he has a supervisor thing on the car. I don't see a car number, but it's okay. Got his badge number anyway. You got a good look at his face. So this is being done to threaten and intimidate again out of recent tweet that I made, and also, okay, so here we go, something else now, something else fake coming down here. Let's see who this is going to be. Let's see who this is going to be here. Okay, so he did comply, just for the record. There have been 2 who haven't. One who I filed a complaint against, and another who I'm not sure that I will because of the circumstances there, but we'll see what we have here. It's Allied Universal Security there. I used to work for that company, actually. That's another person there. He's still idling here. You can see it. He's probably going to stay here until, well, I don't think he's going to stay here quite till the bus comes, because it's going to be a while, so that's he's just parked here doing nothing, as you can see here. And again, they want you to believe that there's transparency and things like that with what they do. There's no transparency. This is outright stalking, and he's parking here as I'm here intentionally. So just going to stay over here and show you how that's being done. So the first bus I was supposed to get, I was right at the stop. It intentionally passed me by. Then just a minute or two later, this guy comes by right at the intersection with hardly anyone else around. You can see it's otherwise quiet here. I don't see... Oh, yeah. Now you notice he's positioned himself here. He's just remaining. Now again, what's happening is, you see here, they're going to surround me with a bunch of citizen operatives probably if I continue. But okay, so he's going now. He's leaving now. You can see. Now he's pulled away. He just sat there. He probably wrote some report or something that I had spoken to him. I'm sure he did. That's fine. I have a right to ask for his information. So, and I explained to him why I don't really have to explain to him why, because they're required to do that as public servants. But he did comply, so that was fine. We'll see how many more of them they send. I got a little while to wait now before the bus, because the last bus seemed to have intentionally passed me by, unless he just somehow didn't see I was standing right there, which I think he did. But so you can see the Ottawa Police have upped their ante with their criminal stalking this week, all done to threaten and intimidate. And again, as see, I've uploaded videos showing what they're doing. They increase the harassment and stalking. And I also posted a tweet showing clear evidence of an Ottawa police officer smiling and giggling during a supposed mass shooter event, which was a fake event, 100%. So they don't like that. They don't like the truth and facts being brought out. And so they do these things to send a message of threatening intimidation. He had absolutely nothing to deal with here. Everything else is pretty much virtually quiet here. You can see this. So, like I said, they have a habit of continually showing up right as I'm about to get the bus or on my way home. So we've got one of their bikers coming up here for the operation. We'll see if we can get a shot. It looks like the face is covered on them. They work with the police too, the biker gangs. I could almost see his name anyway, even if he didn't provide it. I think I could, with the glasses, I think I caught like his name badge there too. So as long as I get one or the other, I'm fine with it. I also want to show people, the individuals who are involved in this harassment campaign against me. So that's important too. That's why something else coming here, some more fake siren going on here. Again, I also like to do these, document these things to show that these organizations are illegitimate. They're illegitimate. They don't do what they're supposed to do. They don't deter crime. They participate in crime and harassment. So that's also important to show that type of thing. But this type of thing here is also evidence that I will use for the numerous complaints I'm going to file, as well against CSIS stuff. Got a little while to wait for the bus. I'm going to have to switch over to the other glasses. I got my body camera rolling too, so that caught that interaction as well, as did the glasses. So yeah, so again, these people, I want you to believe that they're somehow legitimate. They're not legitimate, at least in terms of what they do for their positions. People who are legitimate public servants who are supposed to serve and protect would not participate in a mass deception event in coordination with the criminal media and in coordination with huge numbers of the public who have been bought off to also participate in these deception operations. So you can see this. So anyway, good to get footage like that. And I think what he did there when he hesitated and pulled over to the side there, he wrote something down, or he contacted someone to say that I had spoken to him. Which, that's my right to speak to him. I have every right to ask for his badge number. I explained why. So if he wants to concoct any lie or whatever like that, which is probably what he's doing, because that's all these people do, then he's free to do that. But my documentation shows what occurred there. So I explained to him very concisely why I was asking as well, even though I didn't have to explain why. We'll see, we'll probably get a few more of these criminal goons coming by here. You can see how otherwise quiet it is here. And that was a supervisor too. He had a supervisor on the vehicle there. Of course, they're very aware of the recent tweets I made showing the truth about these criminals and what they do. No legitimate organization is going to participate in a mass deception event like that to deceive the public if they're, you know, a credible organization that is supposed to serve and protect. You would not be involved in that. They are a criminal organization, or at least they're participating in criminal deception events, to say the least. And that's not even scratching the surface with their involvement with organized harassment and stalking of people. Each time they decline to fulfill their obligations as public servants and provide the requested information, I'll also put that online. Like I said, I already filed a complaint against one of these goons, and the guy was completely biased in his response to it. But nonetheless, it does pay to continue to do these things because it shows that they're neglecting their jobs and not fulfilling their obligations as public servants. And that's another thing that is important to show. Because when you show that they have limited credibility, it also shows that the things that they're doing are, and that this entire operation is criminal, that they're involved in. So, get away from me, honestly, get away from me. The guy wearing a black hood, you can see black hoodie there with a death symbol on the back, and then another guy here with a black hood. Notice? Some death symbol, both of them have that. You can see that. I got a bit of time, should I go up here? Yeah, I'm pretty sure what he did there was he called in that I had spoken to him, and I think they've been instructed to do that. That's fine. I have every right to ask for their information when they're showing up everywhere I go continually, and so that's it. But the main encompassing lawsuit would be required. It would be against the city of Ottawa, but obviously the police and the fire department would be encompassed in that, and it takes time to gather up enough evidence, but he knows very well that I posted tweets about how their corruption, and that's why they're showing up again regularly. So 3 times out of 5 days as I'm going home, the Ottawa stalker police show up to threaten and intimidate. And it's always done, as you see, it's done with synchronization with where I am at intersections. Not always, but I mean a lot of times that's how they do it. That also falls right into line with what CSIS describes in their documents, which helps me as well because that is a disruption tactic. So that is something that the targeted person will recognize as being directed toward them because of the consistency with which that occurs, how regularly that occurs. So that also goes right along with what is said in these documents and helps to prove that this is certainly part of a CSIS-run operation, at the top at least. But that they freely and willingly take part in it, despite knowing that it's essentially a criminal operation. Let's switch these off for a minute. I got my body camera on and the phone if they send somebody else. And that's another thing that they don't want people to know, at least the people who aren't awake to this, who they haven't enlisted, which in the cities is minimal. They have a lot of people in the major cities enlisted. But they don't want them to know about, the public servants taking part in it because it really ruins their credibility, right? Now, there's a lot of people who already know that they do take part in it, and those people who've been enlisted are taking part in it right along with them, and they know these are deception events, and they're participating in it because they get something out of it, right? Probably free accommodation, probably universal basic income, and they've signed, most of them, I believe, have signed non-disclosure agreements. So if they do say anything about it, they could lose what they have, and also potentially be put on a list. You can notice this coming from both directions now to where I am. Yeah, so that's obviously there's repercussions for those who might who have been enlisted, who change their mind or whatever, who see some of this stuff as being wrong, because I'm sure there have been people who have done that, who've decided that it's wrong to partake in these things. Probably they lose the free accommodation that they've received. And, people are materialistic now. Materialism has been elevated above all else right now. And, your wealth, your status, that's really all that matters. That's what, weighs your substance as a person in the eyes of these people, unfortunately. And rather than righteousness and adherence to the truth. Some kind of street theater started, I think, here. Sounds like it. Just to my left here, you can see how people are swarming all around me. Look at the guy with the camouflage, he's like screaming. Street theater. He came over and started just shouting. He's got the same pants on too as so many of them do. It's either a black hooded sweatshirt or the camouflage pants or both. Or all of the above. So he came over here, screamed, and then turned around and went back that way. That made sense. Okay. Thought we were going to get more of a street theater performance there, but it was just brief there. It's shortened. Here comes another RCMP vehicle here. You can see this coming down here. So just to line up at the intersection here, RCMP, you can see this now. After the police have come by, and there's another one there heading down here. Another one there. All about sending a message of threatening and intimidation. Don't typically see them at this location regularly at this time on Saturdays at all. So they can't make the excuse that they were just following routine. That was intentional, and it's good to note that too, the times and whatnot. And now the time for these spy camera glasses is slightly off, but the time for the body camera is accurate. So they do not typically drive by this location at this time in the morning at all. It was out of the ordinary and obviously intentional. But as is always the case, they can't send a message truthfully or openly. They have to send a message through indirect threats and intimidation to try and snakily hide behind plausible deniability. They lie and deceive about basically everything. Is lying and deceiving with these people. They're not legitimate organizations. They don't legitimately do anything to deter crime. They work with criminals. Those are the facts. And provably work with criminals and are involved. Well, put it this way. Why is it, again, this is an important question, why is it that in third world countries with 1/50th of the resources that we have in Canada and the United States, they're able to completely cut off the flow of hard drugs? And then you see downtown Vancouver here, which is just an absolute disgrace. People lying in the streets, literally dying of overdoses all around. And you're supposed to believe that law enforcement is doing anything to stop this? I mean, one of two things is the case here. Either law enforcement are completely inept and incompetent, or they're allowing the distribution of narcotics. And I think the answer is fairly obvious in this situation. So, it's very important to understand that. That's another reason why they're coming by to continually threaten, stalk, and intimidate me, because I'm going to speak the truth about that as well, consistently. So, I don't care how many people they have around to harass me. I'm going to put that out there consistently. Very obvious that they're involved in that. Not just here, not just in one specific location, but all around, all around. Now look at this. As soon as they come up, she like glares at me. Yeah, they're involved in it all around. So, and in the United States as well, not just here. I mean, but I think it's much more brazen here. I think in terms of the way they operate here, it's much more brazen. They seem to not be worried about any type of repercussions for their criminal actions here, and that's disturbing. But I mean, in the U.S., don't get me wrong, they do these things in the U.S. too, and they're fully involved in those criminal activities there, I believe, to the police. And again, we also see what other connection can we make? We can draw a clear connection to either them being incompetent or allowing hard drugs to flow freely. And then we can also draw a connection to, admittedly, many of them being members of Freemasonic lodges. So when you connect the dots here, you really start to, see a clear picture of what's going on here. And it isn't pretty.